Thank you for hosting me.
Oh,
My name,
you're very welcome. You're very welcome.
thank you. It's really an honor. Okay, my name is Abi. Maybe we shall start with, I don't know, martial art life in general, or martial art career, or both. I don't
Hmm.
know.
Well, tell us what got you interested. There's something had to have sparked you as a young person to say, "Hey, maybe martial arts might be a good thing to do."
Yeah, well, not surprisingly, Bruce Lee was also influential in Israel or worldwide, like everyone else. We used to watch as the youngsters Bruce Lee movies, and eventually, I think, like other countries, there were we didn't have too many options regarding Chinese martial arts, but there were like I don't know Japanese styles or other kind of martial arts in Israel at the time. Um, so I tried a couple of them. Some are like I'm missing the right word. Like some of those martial arts were created within Israel, and they have general names like Dennis Survival. Okay,
Hmm.
which is like a system which I tried a bit when I was in high school. It was created by Dennis Hanover. He was born in South Africa. As a youngster, he was really high quality judoka in South Africa, and eventually also practiced in Kyokushin. He made a mix of both. So it was judo and karate, kind of ancient MMA, kind of. And I started that in high
Hmm.
school. Then since we have an army service in Israel, which is around 3 years or so. So I was drafted at 18, finished the army service, and then I went to Europe for a couple of years. Within those couple of years, I trained very little bit in Amsterdam, um, in White Crane Kung Fu with the guy from Indonesia.
Oh, wow.
But eventually I came back to Israel. So it's a long journey.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, in Israel, I practiced for about 4 years or so with an Israeli guy who studied Kung Fu in Argentina. This is also quite an interesting system. The name is not the real name of the styles, right? It's called Shaolin Laohu, like Shaolin Tiger. It's not the real name of the systems. It's just a title. And his teacher is like a Jewish guy from Buenos Aires. He studied with two Taiwanese teachers who immigrated from Taiwan to Argentina.
Hmm.
And he mixed both systems and created a new method. The two systems are Chang, like long fist, and quite an interesting style called Xiang. Shaolin Chan is four shapes Shaolin fist. It was created in Taiwan. It had some esoteric functions. Okay, so it's a mix of both actually. And like I think everyone else, or at least us, okay, we're watching The Way of the Warrior, like the BBC. So it was 1983, I guess. Yes. In okay, I know it sounds strange. In Israel at the time, we had only one TV channel. Okay, black
Yeah.
and white, without color. Okay, but we could sometimes watch the Jordanian TV. I don't know if you know, Jordan and Israel are quite close. We are neighbors, and so we would watch The Way of the Warrior in Jordanian TV. Okay. So of course we watch all the chapters, all the episodes, including Hong Yi-Shiang episode. I really got attached to this episode. I don't know how. Okay, because Hong Yi-Shiang is obviously not your typical martial arts teacher, not in the way he looks, not in the way he acts. Okay, very different from the monk with a robe and a long beard. Not right. Okay, you got the idea. The problem was, of course, there was no internet and no telephone and nothing. But we have a post office. So the problem was not who should I send a letter to know where's Taiwan? I mean, okay, we're the other side of the world. So I think it's a great story. It's a karmatic story. So I'm walking one day in Tel Aviv and just walking into a bookstore, looking at the books. And there's a book called Inside Guide Taiwan. It's a travel book. Huh. Okay. And the author of the book is a student of Hong Yi-Shiang.
Wow.
He's the guy who appears in The Way of the Warrior. Daniel Reed, I know the guy. Daniel Reed. Okay. Looking at the book, there's also pictures and like 3 or 4 pages about Hong Yi-Shiang within this book. And then I wrote the publishing company. They sent me a letter. I sent a letter to Daniel Reed. He was living in Taiwan at the time. And he sent me back a letter, which I still keep till that day. Okay, dear Mr. Moriya, thank you for approaching me, blah, blah, blah. And here is the address of Hong Yi-Shiang. I'm writing it also in Chinese. When you will get to Taiwan, please show it to a taxi driver. He will take you to this address. Okay, obviously,
That's great.
This will not work today.
Yeah.
So I don't have their phone number, nothing. Okay, so I'm just grabbing a taxi, showing him the address, and knocking on Xiang's door. I said, "Hey, it's me." The guy from the lecture. Okay, because I corresponded with I corresponded with Hong Yi-Shiang's eldest son. And of course, it's a regular Chinese way of trying to not close the door, like, okay, to see that if you're worthwhile, if you're worth the trouble. So he said, okay, now our school is actually closed, which was kind of true. We're not teaching, only like a small private class. We are not accepting new students. But we may consider if your stay is for long term. Okay, so eventually I just went and what will be will be. What comes what may, and I just arrived there with the letter. It happened that not accepting new students, including myself and 2 others new students. So we're actually 3-1. Okay. But now we get to the pt1 back and forth, which was kind of entrance exam. Okay, you came all the way, obviously, and the other 2 guys were one from England and another American guy named Nick. So you should, at that time, the class was in Hong Yi-Shiang's class, home. It is home. It was not like a large studio or so. It was just a second floor in his house. While the first floor acted as a living area and a clinic. And the second floor was the practicing area, which was not that big. So in that small space, we were actually secluded, and the 3 of us were standing, kind of jamming in the corner. And for a while, standing, of course, in sun t-shirts, and we're doing pt1 long frame. That's it. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And the class, actually, the more advanced class is just like, shoulder to shoulder, but we're not about to get to this space. We're just here in our small country. And eventually the 2 other guys left, not after such a long time. One of them just gave up, I guess, and went to study Xingyi Chuan, another style in Taiwan. And the Second one also left and went to study Baguazhang at the Taiwan Art University. It's not far away from Taipei. It's a very beautiful place called Yangming Mountain. It's a small mountain, okay, not that big. But the cultural university is located there, and they're also teaching martial arts within this university. So actually I was left by myself, not exactly by myself, okay, kind of by myself. And then, okay, I have all this space, and then I just joined the rest of the class, and that was it.
That's amazing.
What year did you start? What year was that when you came to?
1986.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay. On my way to Taiwan, I had another episode I didn't plan actually, because I had to fly from, at the time there was no direct flight from Israel, so I flew from Israel to Athens in Greece, and from Greece to Hong Kong, and from Hong Kong to Taiwan. But what happened when I arrived to Hong Kong, because there was another episode in The Way of the Warrior, there were two episodes. One, I think it was called The Soft Way, which was the episode of Hong Yi-Shiang, and the other, The Hard Way or The Hard Styles, which included a very famous Hong Kong teacher, Sifu Chan, a Hungar guy. Very impressive guy. And I think when you say there was no computer, it's hard to understand how to find those people. I mean, okay, I'm in Hong Kong, but where should I find him? So I tried to find him as well. So it was in the Way of the Warrior, it was said that he's also acting as a chairman of the Hong Kong Martial Arts Association. Just go to the association, okay, and just sit there waiting. Where is Sifu Chan? Okay, and apparently there are two other musketeers also looking for Sifu Chan. Accidentally, okay? One guy is from South Africa. His name is Jacques Artrouk. And the other one is a British guy, Peter. And the three of us are just sitting there looking for Sifu Chan. And he arrives. That's what's the amazing thing. Wow. And not only that he arrives, it's his birthday. Okay?
Oh, wow.
So it's your first day in Hong Kong, and you are invited to his birthday. Okay, the birthday is not just the food. It's like all the who and who of the Hong Kong martial arts community is performing in the birthday.
Wow, that's amazing.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Crazy. And after that, because Sifu Chan, he had a clinic in Nathan Road in Hong Kong, and he had a house in the mountains. Okay, so at that time, for different reasons, he was sleeping in the clinic within the city. And this is a crazy story. He gave us his house. The three of us were living in his house in the mountains, free of charge. And he would come for usually twice a week or once a week for a couple of hours to teach us. And the rest of the time, we just practice like 24/7.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah,
that's a great story.
Yeah. It went on and on. And at that time, you have one of his students, which also was taking part in this episode in The Way of the Warrior, is Sifu Li. I actually follow him on Facebook. He's the lion man. He's in charge of the lion dance in The Way of the Warrior. What's amazing, he's still teaching lion dance today.
Wow. Beautiful.
Wow. Yeah, great. Beautiful. And
that's almost 40 years. That's almost 40 years.
Almost 50.
So I don't know why or when we went to his office, to this guy, the lion man, and he had this, I don't know, okay, it's difficult to say what it is. It's called, in general, import-export. You have no idea what it is. Something, okay? An office that does something.
Sure.
And, yeah. No, it was import-export something. And we would, on top of what we learned from Sifu Chan, would learn some basics of lion dance from Li Sifu. And we even joined the lion dance, not obviously as performers, but just playing. I have no idea how to call this in English. It's like a triangle instrument, which you just, in the lions, you just do doing, doing, doing. Do you know this instrument?
Okay.
Yeah. That's just, I think they just call it a triangle.
Yeah, let's just call it triangle.
Triangle.
Okay. So it looks like a triangle and it's triangle. Right, exactly. So it's the most unprestigious part in the lion dance, right? You just stand there and just not within the custom, nothing, of course. Okay, and then a couple of months went by, and I was like living the dream. I mean, Sifu Chan's house, practicing 24/7 with 2 other foreigners. We have a free accommodation, living the dream, but I'm on my way to Taiwan. So eventually it was a very hard decision. I decided to move on as the original plan and going to Taiwan.
That's amazing. So how long was it 2 or 3 months that you were there?
Yeah, a couple of months.
Is there anything that you might have kept from that training, or any ideas or concepts from the teaching that you got from Sifu Chan?
Okay. First, I mean, of course, accept his generosity. Okay, I think the practice was very much traditional. Mm-hmm. And it was, first of all, different from what I studied in Israel. In Israel, there was a gradual progress, but I think the one of the targets of class was to make it interesting. So we had a lot of materials, and then at a very early stage, we used to spar on a daily basis. And then we actually in Hong Kong went to square one. Just basic movements, and even within the form, because we learned only one form, Moifa. It's a Hunga form, and we just did like every time he came, we just added like a couple of motions, and even then, the time he spent with us, we would going through those like 3 motions endlessly. So it's like really got you into the vibe of hardcore. Jib and Gong. Also, the way of teaching the form was also very gradual. And then you learn patience, and the contact. We didn't go anything like sparring. We were far back from sparring, just, like going through the motion. And so just making contact with the partner, just going back and forth, like some isometric stretching. And then you would show us some breathing exercises. This was actually very nice because honestly, the first time I heard the name Hunga was during the Way of the Warrior. I had no idea about this style at all. But during this time, even before I got to Hong Kong, there was an Israeli guy who studied with Sifu Chan, and he actually brought this style to Israel, but I didn't know too much about it. Okay. This guy's name is Zuti Ranan. He passed away a couple of years ago, and he was actually the pioneer of Hunga in Israel, a direct student of Sifu Chan. Very serious student, very well appreciated in the Hong Kong community. Very much loved personally, I think, by Sifu Chan. So beside the stories about Udi, this guy who passed away, I think the most interesting part was that because he didn't teach Qigong as a secluded part from the training, We would just go, let's say, the form, let's say, even if the form goes like, let's say, 1, 2, 3, for example. So he said, okay, but also spend some time doing it just as a breathing exercise. Just inhale, exhale, very loose, very relaxed motion, which was didn't seem very obvious when you looked at the form. But he said the right way to do it actually is not as hard as it looks from the outside, but it's more fluid from the inside.
Wow. That's amazing.
Otherwise, I cannot say a lot about Sifu Chan because I would spend only, I'm saying, when we were lucky, he would come twice a week, but sometimes he would come only once a week.
Sure.
So, but each time he came, he spent some hours with us, but also within those hours, sometimes we just looked at his photo albums and just talking, and of course also practicing. But yeah. But this was the Hong Kong time.
Abi, when you went and worked with Master Hong, you said you had some time in that system that originated in Argentina, that was the Chang Chuan and the Four Shapes. So right. you had some previous exposure to like Talu or forms. What was it like going from like kind of I'm going to bunny ears in the air, like a longer Kung Fu form to P1?
Devastating. Okay.
Really? Would you? Yeah.
It was the hardest thing I ever did. Okay. Because supposedly I came with some good basics. Okay. Let's say I had 4 or 5 years experience behind. No, not that much, but something. And the body mechanics, this is a different opera, obviously. Even the way the way your hips goes, like in and out, right? You have the 3 basic postures, like the natural, and you have the PPT, posterior pelvic tilt, and the APT, posterior pelvic tilt. So at times you are with rolling inside, like with the PPT. This was extremely difficult because I was used to something else. And when I came, I think I was not excellent, but quite good at what I did before. And then I went down to minus, even not 0, -3 of clueless, the motions, which I thought I had, some grace in the motions, seemed like nothing. And I think it takes really some time. Xingyi looks quite simple. So it's the most simple around the Asia styles. You just go forward. Yeah, you go forward, but how do you go forward? Okay, so the body mechanics are not that easy. I think it takes like 5 at least or so years just to get the body structure correct. And then maybe another 5 or more years. I think only after a decade or so, when you look at someone, say, oh yeah, this is a Xingyi guy. Even more than a decade sometimes. But for myself, I'm talking about someone who trains like crazy from 24/7. Even when I came back from Taiwan, it took another 5, 6 years to accumulate all the concepts, to settle down a little bit. Because also it's not such an easy style. Because usually we want the process to be very gradual and to go from simplicity to complexity and from the known to the unknown. So in Xingyi, of course, obviously you have the infrastructure, you have the jib and gong, and from there they're like, okay, where I'm going next? Sometimes people going in an illusion that they're going to immortality or something like that. So what's the next phase? Because obviously you have to strengthen the basics all the time, but it's not really very gradual, at least not the way we studied in Taiwan. We jump sometimes back and forth. And eventually sometimes you feel that to feel that this gape, it's just like throwing a stone to the water, and there's I forgot the name in English, obviously. When you throw a stone to the water, it makes
ripples.
Ripples, exactly. Ripples. Yeah, I need a translator somewhere. You make ripples, and so it goes in circles, and sometimes the idea coming back to you, or okay, I have some structure of an idea, and from there I can understand something. In Israel, we have of course, you know this kind of cheese. It's a yellow cheese with holes within. And I think this is key, like, okay, but you have to fill those holes by yourself. You don't get the whole process.
Right.
So you have to, I think the teacher also putting some responsibility on the shoulders, of course, on the student, and not carrying all the students on his back to the top of the mountain or to immortality. Showing the way like a compass. Go left, go right, and sometimes also go right. Oh, you failed. Sorry. It means you had to go left. Also, let's say Chinese tricks of looking if you are you thinking at all? Or even, I wouldn't say tricking, but kind of, it's not a dirty trick, right? The teacher wants to understand if you have some common sense, and not following him like everything I say is holy or divine. Say something, and then if you go, okay, teacher said that. Say what? So what if I said so? Maybe it's the wrong idea. So just think by yourself. Does it have the grammar of Xingyi Chuan or the path of the structure, the body structure? And usually the process would go within the body structure and the principles of motions, and less about qi. I'm not in a bad sense, but just not so many conversations about how the qi flows in the body or the connection to Chinese medicine. But sometimes yes, but usually more a little bit practical, would say. Even though sometimes in conversations, not within the frame of the regular class, but if you would go to eat or something with the teacher, or sometimes I would go to the clinic because I had some small knee injury. So then he would talk more about the holistic approach, Qi concepts, meridians, etc.
How big were his classes at the time when you'd started?
Oh, it was very small. I think 10 students max, maximum 10 students. He had 3 sons. 2 of them, sometimes 3 of them, would take part in each class. Sometimes the 3 of them, sometimes 2 of them, but they were usually there. And then there were some foreigners. Of course, you know Marcus Brinkman. Or maybe he's your teacher, actually.
Yes.
Oh, well, he's your teacher, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Is, or was, or is. Still is. He couldn't be was because he still is. Okay. So Marcus Brinkman was there for, I don't know, maybe 3 years or so. Yeah, I guess 2-3 years before. And Christopher Bates it also was in class. Also, like he was maybe 2 or 3 years before I arrived. And there was another British guy, from Wales originally, actually. So the 3 foreigners and the rest were Taiwanese students. From time to time, there were elder generation students, okay, but not necessarily, okay. There were like Luo de Xiu, for example. It would just come, I don't know, once in a very long while just to sit in class and watch us and talk to the teacher and just watch us. And some old timers would practice with us from time to time. There was a guy, I really don't know his name. I'm sorry. His nickname was Monkey, but he was from one of the elder generations, and was another guy who would practice with us sometimes. The rest were more the 80s generation. And there was, that's it. Sometimes we were 10, sometimes 8, sometimes, more or less. Usually not more than 10 students in class.
Mm-hmm. So at this time I know that Hong had a big system with the Tang Sho Tao. So there was some white crane, and then there was the Xingyi, and then I know that I'm not sure if he progressed and taught other things. Was he still teaching the sort of the same way when you got there? Was the emphasis more on the Xingyi and less on the white crane, or did you guys learn the Bas, like Ba Bu Da, Ba Lian So, like those things as well?
Definitely yes. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying it was the best approach, because you were overwhelmed by it's a crazy amount of materials.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's over there, but doesn't matter. I have those notebooks from Taiwan. Okay, each notebook is this big, and I have like a mountain of notebooks. Trying to, what are we learning here? So you go back and you try to analyze what happened in class and reflect to yourself what happened in class and what is the right order. Because when I got to Taiwan, I thought I'm going back to Israel to teach. I didn't know I was facing like a monster. It was like I don't know where to start with all this material. And so I started also thinking, okay, if I'm teaching in Israel, so what's step 1, step 2, 3? I know I tried to, of course, get help from more experienced teachers, which helped me sometimes. Like there was a guy named Chris Ma. I'm not sure you heard about him, but he's actually he's an American, okay, but American from Chinese origin, so he looks completely Chinese. But at the time, he didn't speak Chinese anyway. And there was when I need the right word in English, God knows. Okay, something, an offer maybe. Or teaching, it was a unit within the Taiwanese police. At the time, there was also handing demonstrations and things, but eventually it comes like a SWAT unit. Like a SWAT unit within the Taiwanese police. And this American guy, Chris Ma, he became the martial arts instructor. Okay? He was quite a colorful guy. He had some previous experiences. He was teaching in Saudi Arabia for a time. His style looked a little bit like JKD, right? It was a mixture of a couple of things. He also was very good in YiXiang, but he did some other stuff. And since we worked at the same time, at the same place, he was teaching in his spare time. It's a place called the American Club. It's a country club, within Taipei. And I was working there as well. I was doing a shiatsu treatment in the American Club. So consulting from time to time, what do you think about this process? Maybe I'm going to do this and that. Obviously all the notebooks when I arrived to Israel and tried to teach exactly like in Taiwan. It didn't work very well. I didn't meet the Israeli student yet, but I obviously did later. It's not like in Taiwan, Even today, when students say, let's take a class exactly like in Taiwan. Oh, I'm so happy. I know next class. Let's go back to the exactly like Israel. No one stands for endless time in sun t-shirt and going back and forth at pt1. But this was the idea. So back to your question, because it's a very, very it's a big question.
It is.
What we did. So we did every class about 45 minutes of jib and gong. It included, of course, this included tiangan. Every class. And other Jib and Gong exercises, a mix of Xingyi and Bagua, kind of. So this was for this part. Then we did things which were a mixture. I guess like Hong Yi-Shiang himself got put into some frame different ideas, like tapping the dantian or so. So those things like in white crane, back and forth, back and forth. What else? Regarding forms, we did a lot in the beginning of those 8 section forms. And some of them really, when you know the Xingyi of the Tang Sho Tao and the YiXiang Bagua Zhang, of course you cannot see. It's not so difficult to see the similarities between the Hotian, the Villeneuve Bagua, and the Xingyi forms. Some of them really are very close or related, at least. Yep. So we did, besides the Babu Dao and the Balian Show, which are the 2 first forms, each of 8 sections. And then we had the Ba Shou, the 8 hands forms, which is almost some part exactly like the, let's say some of it is from the first section of the Gao Shen Bagua Zhang, like even of 1.1, if you go, let's say 1, 2, 3. Okay, so it's just the same. You go 1, 2, and instead of going forward, you do Bang Chuan, another Bang Chuan. It's almost the same. So those 8 of those. And then we had another 8 section form called Mehwati, plum flower kicks, which is very much close to the 8 section line in the Hotian, Gao Shen Bagua Zhang. So we had 4 of those. And then, I don't know if to say, not unfortunately, okay. You want to get to Xingyi eventually, right? So how much material can you get before getting to Xingyi? And there was a lot of it, a lot. We had 3 forms which were named Shaolin. No relation to Shaolin Temple. Just Hong Yi-Shiang created them by himself. Shaolin Ilu, Shaolin Erlu, and Shaolin Sanlu. First road, second and third road. Usually we learn those as a punishment. If someone would ask, usually one of the foreigners, of course, teacher, when are we going to study Bagua Zhang more seriously? Okay. Shaolin Ilu. Okay, Shaolin Ilu. Shaolin Ilu? What? No. We don't want Shaolin Ilu? No, Shaolin Ilu. Okay. And then you go Shaolin Ilu back and forth. And then after a month when everyone cooled down, you got the message. Yeah, we did. Yes, teacher, we did. Right. Okay, so this was Shaolin 1, 2, 3. When I came back to Israel, I immediately erased them from my memory. I have no idea how they look like. Okay. I'm not dealing with that. And then we had other forms which Hong Yi-Shiang created by himself. Okay, this included by He Chuan white crane. Okay, but it has also elements of Xingyi and Bagua within the form because he created it. Right? Everything is the same. He created it, and then we have the Da Pong, the great eagle, spreading swings. And then we have 5 tigers extend from the western peak and other forms, etc., etc. So we have all those. Okay, so even if you ask what is the beginning point of Xingyi Chuan, then you get Babu Da. Babu Da, it doesn't look like Xingyi. Well, it's like goes like 1, 2. In the first section, it's just 1, 2, 3. Okay, no, doesn't seem that much, but okay, there's a little footwork, which is maybe a little bit close to Xingyi. But it was very structured. Maybe part of it, of course, was created during the 70s when Hong Yi-Shiang was teaching American soldiers. At the time, we wanted to have them some basics, just blocks and punching, etc. Okay, and then thanks God, we went all through the 8-section forms, and then we had, of course, the YiXiang 5 elements forms, and of course the connective. Is the right word in English?
Yes.
Connective form, or
it's the Gentway. Is that the one? The linking form? Connective form?
Exactly. Yeah, the linking form, exactly. Okay, so we have the 5 elements, and then we had the Basher and other, and sure, Feng Shui, the 12 crossing fists or hammers.
Hammers, yeah.
Yeah, 12 hammers, Basher, 12 animals, obviously. Some of the animals, I don't know why, had endless repetitions, and some had very little repetitions. So you even sometimes missed an animal where if you missed one class or two, I don't know, it's just, okay, this is name or something. Okay. Some of them were, I don't know why exactly, but I guess maybe the reason, I'm not sure actually. Maybe there was something staying there for 30 years and then you have to learn it by time as you stay there. But for someone who arrived just for a couple of years, let's say even 5 years or so, well, it was, you have to accumulate all the information. You don't have time to process the information. Just practice, and try to settle. Okay, this is the order, gradual process, one by one. Then we do partner work, obviously. Let's say, I would say that if I had to conclude, each class had maybe 70% of motion, solo, just by yourself, and maybe 30% of partner work. So this was quite interesting, seeing I think the class was quite good in, quite kind of competitive class, but this is quite surprising due to the fact that we didn't practice a lot of partner work. And regards sparring, we had a few phases, okay? Phase 1 was most of the time, okay, we had also like a jacket, a uniform, but we would usually practice just with a t-shirt. The only problem is it was so hot and humid. So there were only 2 options. Option 1, bring, let's say, 3 t-shirts to one class, at least 3. After an hour, you're just soaked, you can or just take off the t-shirt like Hong Yi-Shiang himself would do it. Take off his shirt and practice shirtless. This was option 2. And then when we would spar, we would put a t-shirt, not the one we sweated before, and then jacket. And on top of the jacket, we had like an armor, body protection, very protective, just for the upper body. First it was, I have no idea. Okay, when you see pictures of the Tang Sho Tao in the 70s, it's the same protective gear. It's completely not modern. It's very heavy. It's more like an army vest. It's really heavy. It's like, I don't know, it weighs, it doesn't make you feel so light and mobile. But the benefit was that you can punch, with strong force to only in the jacket. And the rest was, hard to say, depending who is demonstrating. If a teacher is demonstrating on Marcus Brinkmann, it seems that there are more options to hit your partner. But when it comes back to students, it seems that there are less options to hit your partner.
Right.
So Marcus was, almost each class was teacher is, let's say, demonstrate or hit Marcus Brinkmann. We are the second or third line of defense. In case, I don't know, something happens, so he calls someone else. So the best place to stand is where you can watch everything, behind Marcus, not in front of Marcus. Otherwise, you be the one who is demonstrating. So he's the first line of defense, and we are like hiding behind or because he would hit him really, at least with the slapping him.
Yeah.
I'm not joking. Like when Marcus is going out of class, you see the handprints of Hong Yi-Shiang on his body. Like the really heavy slaps. But, of course, he's the benefited most because he's the only one who felt it each class.
Right.
But if you ask him what happened, I don't know if he can analyze exactly what happened, right? Because he's not watching. It's not like modern way of teaching that you ask for a partner to come and then you replace him in order that he can also watch and demonstrate another one. But mostly it was within the scale of Rosho, like soft hand. Soft hand is sometimes called also rolling hands, maybe, or I don't know. We just call it Rosho, just soft hand. Which is kind of we did it equally as sparring or even more. So let's say it's a Xingyi Bagua style of type of partner work. Also reminds a little bit of Tui-na, of pushing hands, but you can also slap and sometimes trap or lock. I think it's very good way to understand the principles, because it's, even if it's serious, it's within a game or a play. So you're not really, even if you lock someone, it's not that you have to tap, that he's like in enormous pain. You just, give me 5 and we just continue to play and roll hands. So it's more like a game and a play with a partner, not an enemy or a foe. And in this regard, I think you can make really great progress within this soft hand process. Yeah.
Did Hong teach was there any weapons that he taught?
Okay, between yes and no. Let's start with that.
Okay.
No weapons, but no, there were some weapons in class. And at least the time I was there, one time, his son was showing a part of a form of which he called UFA Gun, like General UFA Staff. And he claimed that it's a Xingyi form. I'm not sure because I never saw this form again. So eventually, I went to study with another teacher, only weapons.
Yeah.
Well, let's say at that time it was not, I think, that accepted that you go to another teacher. And you have to be loyal only to one teacher. I didn't see it as a lack of loyalty. But okay, I think I knew I'm not going to stay in Taiwan forever. But
how long were you there? How long were you there, Abi? How long were you there, my friend?
I was not there for so many years. I spent there 86, like 7, 8, 9, so kind of. And then I went back to Israel, and then I went each year for 1 month. But this is only for a few years, and then Hong Yi-Shiang passed away.
Right.
So let's say between 1990 and 93, maybe, I went for just a month each year. And then Hong Yi-Shiang passed, and then I went not so often and less. So last time I was in Taiwan was about 8 years ago. So we'll talk about it later. So anyway, I went to a place called New Park, and now they changed the name of this park in Taipei. It's called Peace Park 228. It's quite a well-known place for public martial arts. I mean, outdoors. There used to be like 5 areas like this in Taipei. At least last time I was, there were only 3 areas. One is Chiang Kai-shek Memorial Hall, where Lord Shio is teaching. Sun Yat-sen Memorial Hall, another place. New Park is the 3rd place. There was a hotel, like in the background of the hotel, they were also practicing, not anymore. Let's say it's narrowed a little bit. So anyway, in this park, I met a young teacher. His name was because he passed away, Pong Hangping. He was known as a Xiaopong, little small Pong. He was small, okay. He mainly did Tang Chuan brain matters. And first he studied Bahu Tang Lang, 8-step Tang Lang, and then 7 stars, and Chi Chi Tang Lang. He did other things, and he learned weapons from different teachers. He was very skillful. I think people who knew him at the time, his movement was like top notch. Okay, he had a vast knowledge in different weapons. Even that people from, not his students, people from other schools would come to practice with him if they wanted to compete with the weapon. It was it was really very good. So we learned. If there was no other option, there was sometimes I would also do some empty hands with him and with one of his teachers, Zhang, who was teaching him at the time, 8 Immortals Drunken Fist. But mostly I went just to study weapons, and this is what I did most of the time. So I studied with him about 6 or 7 different weapons, and we did a lot of forms, obviously. Okay, let's face it, when you go to Chinese teachers list in Taiwan, you don't see so much partner drills, not so much, mostly movement. And sometimes we do partner work, and it's at least understand the principles of working with a partner with a certain weapon, or weapon again versus another weapon. So we did just fan and Dao sword and Miao Dao sword, 3-section staff. And then I met some other Xingyi teachers, and I studied Xingyi forms, Xingyi spear and Xingyi jian.
Any favorite weapons, Abi? Any weapons that you're like, I could study this forever?
Yeah.
Really? Cool.
Both the staff. But there was also another funny, just we're looking for the right word, not anecdote, but like Robert Smith's book, Musings, is an anecdote.
Yes.
Musing. Or musing, or musing. Musing. Okay, right. It's like an anecdote. Okay. So anyway, when I first got to the park, remember that I didn't know nothing about Taiwan. So what do you think about martial arts within a Chinese community? That it's very, very early in the morning. But how early? You have no idea. So I went to the park around, I woke up, I stayed there at the time at Red Hall named Taipei Hostel. I hope no one is, it's a shitty place called Taipei Hostel. Anyway, not your luxury hotel. You have dorms, you stay there, you have no other options at the beginning. And it's a walking distance anyway to the park. And then I went around 6 o'clock or so, waiting, where are the martial arts? Because in the way of the warrior, it seems that there are plenty of people in the park. And then suddenly the whole park is full. Okay, what happened is there are 2 waves. The first wave is not at 6, it's around 4:30. And then before 6, they finished practicing and they're going away. And then there's a small gap and another big wave is coming. said, oh, okay, there are people, still people. Okay. And then there's in the new park, the kind of a platform, also a place where when it rains, all the practitioners in the park are hiding under this dome. And there's one seems really old guy going on stage with a fan. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, with the fan, and then you have this kind of a microphone or something, and he puts some music, and then he puts the fan aside. I think it was at the time, maybe, I'm not sure, 85, 80, I don't know. Elder guy. I was young, he was older than me, okay, maybe in his 80s. No warm-up, I'm not kidding. He just put the fan, and it goes to a full split.
Whoa.
Yeah, wow. What the hell? Like, what's going on? Everyone doing splits. And then he goes like, I don't know, stretching to the side with a split all the way down here. Said, what the? Probably everyone here is doing like this, the same flexibility. I'm way back. I'm not there at all. And then he goes and he makes this form. I said, wow, this looks really beautiful. And then another younger guy comes, and I said, hey, like, of course I have no idea. I even don't know one word in Chinese. I said, hey, do you speak English? He said, yeah. I said, yeah, you have a good accent. I said, yeah, I know, I'm American. He's Chinese American. He also, like me, he's practicing in the park. He also knows 2 words in Chinese. He's from California. And he is supposedly the student of this, I don't know his real name. His surname is Zhang. We just called him Opera Zhang. Okay? And this young American is a student of Opera Zhang. He's studying only the fan. And eventually I learned that he was a member of a Chinese dancing troupe in San Francisco. And he wanted to polish his movement skills and learn some new things. And then we go into fan form. And I said, excuse me, like teacher, why is when you like flap the fan, you turn your head to this direction? And he said, and he translates. He doesn't speak Chinese, but you have to translate. And he said, yeah, he's facing the audience. So, what audience? I'm talking about the martial application. Okay, so I've only found that he's a guy from the opera. This the opera guy. So he's clueless regarding martial arts, but he has those motions and the flexibility and everything.
Huh.
And one guy, anyway, went through the form, and then another day comes another guy, also with a fan, and he goes like, what? This is like crazy. So everyone here is like superstars of the fan. And he's going to say, yeah, this looks more martial. I hope this doesn't look like opera guy. And I found out this guy was another Zhang. And he was one of the teachers of the weapon guy, the Xiaopeng. And he was teaching at the time 18 Mortal Drunken Fist. And he's really an expert. He immigrated from China to Taiwan. And sometimes the style he practices actually is called Taiwanese Hungar. It's not really Hungar, but it's close to Hungar. He's also doing a Drunken Fist. Also very colorful guy. And so I learned also from Xiaopeng this version of the fan. And then we did some other things anyway. Anyway, to make a long story short, a sad long story short, actually, Xiaopeng opened a pub.
Cool.
And one day, he went on his motorcycle, and when he left the pub, and he was killed in a motorcycle accident.
Oh, wow.
Only 32 when he was killed.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah. So he had a very short career. Within those years, let's say between 86 to his death, he performed twice out of Taiwan. Once one was in San Francisco at the Tatma Wong competition. I don't know if you know this competition. At the time, it was one of the most important ones. I also competed, by the way, in this competition in San Francisco.
Amazing.
Yeah. I did quite well, by the way, hopefully. And I did. And so he was performing there as a special performance or whatever. It was not giving seminars, just performing 3-section staff and 9-section whip chain, etc. And the other performance he did was it's in Paris. I'm not sure you know this, but it's a really great event which Rodeshio was also taking part one time in Paris. It's called the Bercy Martial Arts Festival. It's a huge festival. And Xiaopang was also demonstrating there, and he got really great feedback. Also, some French students were performing with him. I can send you later a YouTube movie regarding all. It's an hour. It's a bit long. It's different parts of Xiaopang teaching and demonstrating abroad, etc. So this is regarding his story.